A new international crossing in Detroit has been bandied about for years, but now the legislature, at the governor's encouragement, is taking a quite serious look at a proposal that could lead to a new bridge. But do we really need a new bridge? Who would pay for it? And what about the current Ambassador Bridge? Just a few of the questions that have made this a controversial issue. 24-Hour News 8's political reporter Rick Albin's been looking into this and joins us now in studio with what he's found. Rick?
Brian, what I found is that the two different sides looking at the same information can come to completely different conclusions. The volumes of questions about this issue only exceeded by the uncertainty as to what the state Senate may decide about it. Chances are you've been here, the Ambassador Bridge. This is a rare, privately owned international crossing that generates millions of dollars a year for the Maroon family that has owned the bridge for more than 30 years. It also carries the overwhelming majority of commerce between Michigan and its biggest trading partner, Canada. That adds up to billions every year. Those are facts that most people can agree on. Beyond that, agreement is hard to find. Is there a need for another span across the Detroit River?
That's a great question. That should be the first question.
Do we need another crossing at the Detroit River?
We absolutely do.
The owners of the Ambassador Bridge stand to lose big bucks if a new bridge is built a few miles away, and they argue traffic doesn't require another span. In fact, they say traffic is down nearly a third in the last decade or so. But in an ironic twist, they say they are willing to build a second span right next to the existing 83-year-old bridge. But why?
The reason why we're interested in building a bridge is not for traffic. The existing bridge handles the traffic of today fine, and the traffic of the foreseeable tomorrows just fine.
They say their old bridge is expensive to maintain. They would build a new one, then update the old one, ultimately operating both bridges, much like the Blue Water crossing in Port Huron. But Lieutenant Governor Brian Calley doesn't buy it. He says the Maroons have not officially applied for a new bridge, despite talking about it. And to say that traffic isn't going to increase, he says, is betting against Michigan.
In order for them to make that case, they have to say there's no future in Michigan.
Calley says that's just not true. He says trade with Canada has increased double digits in a year, and he thinks it will continue. But the argument about need is small compared to the argument about who would pay.
The numbers don't work, and if you do the math, you'll see that just on a net loss, operating cash flow loss every year, the government bridge will cost $100 million a year to the state taxpayers.
In the end, you say Michigan taxpayers pay
zero.
And they will be liable for?
And they'll be liable for zero.
The people that own the Ambassador Bridge say another bridge could dilute revenues of both crossings, making it hard for either to be profitable. Lieutenant Governor Calley says both will make money. A new bridge, too, would be privately owned and operated, but right now it isn't clear the Senate's ready to go along with that plan. In fact, this would be the first time in his young administration that Governor Snyder will almost certainly have to have the support of Democrats to get a bill passed, and right now it's not clear that he's got that. You can hear the full conversation with Matt Maroon with the Ambassador Bridge this Sunday and Lieutenant Governor Brian Calley next Sunday. Both shows at 10 a.m. on Wood TV 8, To the Point.